Right, so this is a bit of a new series for me and for you guys as well, actually. In this episode series, I'll be uploading my subscriber reviewed games. What that means is that if you subscribe to me on Twitch, you can give me a YouTube video of you playing the game, and I will go over the entire video, giving you feedback on what you did well that game, and what you could have done better. Of course, it's only my feedback, it's my point of view, not necessarily the only correct one, but at the very least, you should be able to get some interesting pointers, some interesting feedback, and how you can elevate your gameplay and become better at the game. I do the reviews on Twitch, and then I later upload them to YouTube. So this first episode right now is one of my subscribers, Francis Yang, in-game called Ayuma, an Australian player. He gave me a video of him playing Cassie, and as you will see in this video, I will give him some criticism, I will give him some feedback, but I'll also point out the things he did very well in that game, and hopefully that can make him become a better player. And for you guys watching, I'm sure there's something for you guys as well to learn. And even for me, even I take lessons from this. I watch these videos and I learn new things as well by looking at the game on a more objective level. So, hope you guys enjoy it. And let me know what you think about the series. Let me know if you've had any feedback from me as well. And I'll be happy to hear them. I'm going to cover all 20 minutes, but I'll try and get as far as I can. So I'm going to full screen it. And here we go. This is one of my subscribers. He's playing Cassie in this game. First of all, Legendary Exaction is definitely her best one, so I agree with that one. The cards are all fine. Honestly, I like Launch 1, Somersault 2, because if you get below 50% health, you're probably gonna die anyway. Like, you have so little health there that anything can kill you. With Somersault 2, you have a little bit more health, so you can actually roll and try and get alive or stay alive. Other than that, I think the deck is perfectly fine. Moving on. Alright, so first thing first, you guys know I made a video about this recently, about settings, in-game settings. I think the FOV right now, I think it's too little. I think you should go for a higher valve. It will make it harder to hit initially because characters will be slower, but you can see so much more. And I think seeing more has more impact to the game than being able to hit your shots. So that's my first advice, try playing on a higher valve. Now let's look at this question. He says, should I go Wrecker or cards? He's playing with a Andro, Fernando, Grok, and Ceres. So he has a dedicated healer. He has a tank as well, which is good. I think picking Cassie in this comp is fine as well. He's playing as only a Wrecker, only Wrecker's tank. Then Eevee, Leon, another Ceres, and Sheldon. In this case, I would always go Colorize. Because only buying a Wrecker for Ruckus is not worth it. He's going to have a shield so often, and it's self-shield, so you still get Overcharge by hitting it, I've been told. So I wouldn't go Wrecker in this situation. Other than that, I would probably first buy Kronos right now, especially in casual. Kronos gives Cassie so much more mobility. The value is just insane. Don't go Kronos 2 or 3, just Kronos 1, and then focus on Colorize or Wrecker. So in this situation, I would have bought Kronos 1 as the first card. Let's go a little bit forward, because not much is happening right now. He goes Wrecker. Again, I think Colorize would have been more safe, because you will be the one doing the most damage and poking the most safely. Applying Colorize is really good for that. You want to put Colorize on the characters that can easily hit someone without being too dangerously close. Unless you're playing a tank, in which case you almost always go Colorize. But I would have gone Kronos in this situation. Kronos 1. Moving on. He's playing with Digger Dog, I see, so this is an Australian server. He's following Digger, which I think is fine. Although you don't want to stack your damage too much. You want to make sure your damage carries cover multiple angles. So, especially with Cassie, because you can do so much damage from range, you just kind of want to poke them and keep them away into the zone. So I think going with Digger is fine, but you could have gone left as well. So it's fine Eevee, missing some shots. I'm not going to comment too much on aim and stuff. As far as aim goes, you know you should hit all your shots. If you're not hitting all your shots, you need to practice more. Not much to say about that. You're rolling pretty aggressively. You left the high ground, and now you're in a deep spot to chase Eevee, which I guess is fine. She does get away, and now you're on the point. As a damage carry, you never want to be on a point unless you killed at least 3 or 4 of them. Because right now, enemies can come from all angles. They can come from behind, they can come from the right, they can come from the left. And, I mean, sure, you're with a tank, but you're going to take so much damage because you don't have any cover here. You're in the open. And that's exactly what's happening. You go to the point, you get blown up. So in general, especially if you're playing Cassie with so much range, I would highly suggest just kind of keeping your distance. You don't have to go deep unless you're going in for the kill. And you don't want to put yourself in a bad spot. So in this situation, you should be more patient and just kind of chill. Wait for a kill, maybe 2 kills, and then go in more aggressively. Moving on for the retake, your team's getting kills, kind of going back and forth. You Digger Duck traded 1 for 1. You see Shaolin, I think is fine. I think I would have rolled faster, but this is fine. As far as the roll goes, you kind of want to spam the roll. Like, the roll is Cassie's bread and butter, and whenever it's off cooldown, I kind of suggest using it, except for when you're in a safe spot. And even then, you can just roll into the wall and play safe. In the situation, you went on Shaolin, took a lot of damage for it, and then Eevee just kind of cleaned you up. Again, you didn't have to get so close to Shaolin. You could have killed him by being further away as well. Because Cassie has no damage fall off, and she has a lot of range. So you can easily play safe. I think that's going to happen more often. Again, you didn't really have to go on point there. I think it's fine because they're pushing your team, so you have free time. And you're kind of starting to stay with them. Right now, I would definitely go off the point, which you do, which is good. Because as soon as you killed one, you want to make sure you go into cover. Because you have no idea what's happening around you. You find out the Eevee is a good shot. Rolling back to the point was a bit risky. I would have rolled further back to your base, because your team was still dying. But this should be okay. Again, you're on point. Again, I would never suggest to go on point. I know it's tempting when you already cap so much, but you should always value your life the most. Because the moment you die, it doesn't matter how much you capped, if you still lose the point in the end, right? If you cap 90%, it's meaningless if they get 100. So don't try to put yourself in a safer spot. Like, dismount here, and just kind of stay there. Don't roll forward, just kind of chill back. Like, roll backwards here, so you can stay in the open. Definitely roll backwards now, because you want to move away. Running forward is a bit risky, as you can see. You don't want to put yourself in a dangerous spot. Let's see, moving on. Fernando's trying to buy overtime. He's kind of doing his Fernando thing, which is fine. Shooting a Ruckus, and no, you're not doing it, but shooting a Ruckus is not always the value. Ruckus is the hardest thing to kill, especially if they have Ceres. Like, that sustained healing is insane. You get the point though, you're kind of stacking right now, but I guess you're snowballing. As soon as you get 1 kill, you can just push. You can just keep pushing because they don't really have to answer. They can't answer you back. As you can see, they're all dying 1 by 1. You can roll into the stairs if you wanted to, but I think going back is perfectly fine. Respecting your life. You can ulti here if you want. You can see where they are. You get your ultimate back for the next point anyway. Like, what you want to make sure, especially on Cassie, always make sure you have your ultimate for the next point fight. So if you use it early on a push, you will have it back in time. So as long as you don't ulti too late, it's perfectly fine. This push is happening, they're just kind of dying 1 by 1. Not much to say about this. Just kind of judging your aim for now, I guess. Your positioning here is perfectly fine. You go in deeper when they get low. You're kind of underestimating Sal's damage. You can still do a lot of pain. But that's fine for now. Again, you're staying on the siege here. I don't think you have to. You can get an angle on them really nicely now. If you, instead of being in the middle behind Fernando, if you go more to the right, to the left, they need to pick between either going on you or what am I trying to say? They need to decide between going on you or going on the siege. You always want to make them decide between either way. There's no in-game audio, by the way. I'm sorry about that. Let me put up some music to make it a bit more satisfying. There we go, we got some tunes, because there's no in-game sound. He's moving slowly because he's playing on a lower VOF. It feels slower than it is. I would suggest playing on a higher field of view. Again, you get hit by the EV ulti because, like I said before, you're stacking on the siege. You don't have to be there. Let your healer be there. Let your tank be there. You just make sure you're in the safest spot where you can still help your team, but they can't accidentally hit you by shooting your tanks. Rolling into the ice storm now is a bit awkward. What can happen though? Let's go back a bit, forward a bit. Okay, so I guess you lost a fight. You're trying to retake now. This is all about getting 1 pick. You don't have to go super greedy. You can forget about the siege for a while, which is good. Chasing the EV was a bit unnecessary. I think Digger Duck would have had it. You could have left him alone with it. Some good damage in the Ruckus, forcing him off. Yeah, still in the ulti. At this point, you shouldn't ulti anymore. I know you said in chat you don't do an ulti all game, but this is a general thought. This is the point where you don't want to ulti anymore. Because you want to make sure you have it for the next point fight. Even if you push it in. Good read on the EV. Keeping a nice distance, which is good. I think Ceres is having a bit of trouble with the EV. I think you're spending too much time on EV, to be honest. But your team pushed it in, so it's fine. You kept the EV busy, EV kept you busy. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Honestly, it's fine. Alright, moving on to the next. That was a bit too far. Alright, next point fight. You went left this time, I like this. You didn't go right again. I think this is a safer position for you. And applies more zoning. You're patient, which is nice. You're using your mount, your third person view to look around corners. And immediately you can see the value, right? You show up, you clean up, and you just can hold the point. Now this is kind of risky, but it works out. Sarah's got knocked off the map, it's her mistake. You went in pretty far there, but since you already got 2 kills, you can't really get punished for it. Right now what you should do, straight away, as soon as you kill Evie or even before that, you should roll a little bit forward to that base to try and dismount him. So you make it harder for that tank to touch point again. So that should be your job now. Again, you should probably ulti now so you can do it better. But yeah. So you're keeping them away, which is fine. You don't have to roll in there. You might want to heal a little bit now. To go get to your rescue, that's good. You don't have to kill them. As long as you keep them busy, that's fine. And they're kind of running past you right now, but you get a good angle on them. They need to pick between fighting you or going to the point. So that's good positioning. Moving on. Your team is capping quite nicely. Makes me wonder how this video is so long. I guess you guys kind of fucked up in the end. Shooting Rook is never a good idea, especially when no one's being healed. Plus, you kind of forgot about your cover, so you're kind of in the open. But your team is good, so you kind of got, you didn't get punished for it. But in that situation, I would have been in more back, safer position. Yeah, for those just tuning in, I'm doing a sub review. When you sub to me, I can review your game and tell you what you did right and what you did wrong to help you become a better player. Or at least give you some food for thought. So that's exactly what this is. Another thing, I guess you're recording. You're playing at 60 FPS right now, at least, or you're recording at 60 FPS. I don't know if this is your normal FPS while you're playing, but whatever you do, you should try everything in your power to get more FPS in the game. And to do that, you can watch my video on player settings to maybe get a better FPS. But maybe because you're recording, it's lower than it normally is. As a side note. Again, walked in. I don't think you have to dismount there. As long as you don't really fight anyone, you can stay on your mount because it gives you third person view and more mobility. You should never dismount without having a plan or a reason. Again, your entire team is stacking on the point. Nice shot on the EV though. Your entire team stacking on the point is a bad idea because once there is ulti and you all get hit by it, you know. This is a good spot. You're pretty safe here. You can hit shots. You can be valuable to your team without being really exposed. So that's good. I like that. Alright, hang on. What happened there? Let's see. You're pretty low health. You kind of rolled into the open, into nothing. I don't think that was necessary. What you could have done there, you can just roll into the wall behind you and then get the roll shot anyway. You don't have to roll towards someone to get bonus damage off. Something people often forget. So you can, yeah, you can just roll backwards or roll into a wall and still get bonus damage. Especially when you're half health. Rolling into the enemy is never a good idea. Especially now when it's on the siege as well. Because that's where all the shit happens, you know. That's where the clutter is. Alright, now you're just kind of waiting, which is good. Stay on your mounts. Unfortunately, you, I don't think you had to go in yet. Your team is still respawning. You want your tanks to go in first so you have less heat on you. If you go in first, all the focus fire will be on you. Like Diggerduck went in too early and he got blown up because he didn't wait for his tanks. Don't do that. Just be patient. Again, kind of stacky there. You want to be further behind your team. I mean, everyone came to you as well, so it's not entirely your fault, but you want to make sure you don't stack ever, especially as damage carry. Tanks can stack because they can shield. You should never stack on anyone else. Alright, let me forward a little bit. I'm not going to do the entire game, I think, because at some point you already get it, you know? It's more than not, it's repetition. Let's see, so for the overtime, the tank needs to touch. If you touch this, you're just going to get blown up. Again, your ultimate control is a bit overkill, I'd say. Unfortunately, you didn't get the point. Okay, let's see the next point fight and we'll end it with that. Let's see how this goes. Let's forward a little bit. Nice burrito spray. Appreciate the support. Always good. Alright, a few seconds. Let's see what happens here. You're 3-1 ahead. You have a lot of ultis. You can always see that. You have a Gork ulti. You don't have Fernando, so you know he's not going to be able to save you. I'm not sure about enemy ultis. I don't think they use any. So you want to make sure you keep your Cassie ulti for a Ceres ulti or CC ulti, so you're CC immune. Again, running into the point is fine, especially since you rolled back. Again, I would have ulted now, so you know where they are. Fighting Eevee is fine, just don't spend too much time on her. Like, now she blinked the sword. She's trading a little bit because she missed some shots, which is unfortunate. Yeah, that's only because you just missed some shots there. It's not really your fault. Oh, it is your fault, but it's not anything macro. Just mechanical stuff. Again, besides to the kill Rukus, because she thinks Rukus is low. But when Rukus is being healed and has a shield, he is not really low health. Let's go fast forward a bit to the end, because I think you guys lose this because of combat mechanics. Again, I think the spot is fine. Probably want to jump less. Sarasota is unfortunate. Could have Cassie ulted that for CC immunity. And then you kind of were too far in front. Again, too impatient I think. You're too eager to get kills or to do something. It's perfectly fine to do nothing for a while. Alright, let's go a little bit forward. Because you ended up... Did you win or lose? We'll see. Last point fight. Let's do the last point fight. And defense as well, you want to make sure you keep your distance. It's perfectly fine. So you go right this time, you're just kind of poking, which is fine. Again, shooting a Rukus, not really worthwhile. I would shoot him a few times and then change your focus to someone else. Like Eevee, for example. Eevee gets low. Unfortunately, we're shooting the Rukus. He jumped off the map though, which is nice. It's always an added bonus. Again, staying up there is perfectly fine. That was really good high control. You didn't go in, you didn't roll deep. You just kind of stayed up there and shot for free. That's what you want to do with Cassie. You just want to stay high ground and play safe. Let's see what happens next. Focus zoning on the left. Didn't really quite dismount him, but you had the idea. That's what you want to do. You want to dismount him. Your entire team stacked, and 2 of them got hit by a Ceres ulti, which is really bad. Not your fault, that's your team for not being in cover. Then you get shot. You just got out-traded. You stayed there too long. You want to move a lot as Cassie. You want to be in one spot, take a few shots, and then go to the next one, and just kind of keep rotating. Seems like you get snowballed though. The retake didn't work. Rukus got passed. Ceres got a big ulti off, and you're just kind of losing the retake. Your turn to retake. Playing around the Fernando shield here is fine. Again, I would never roll on point because you're being shot by everything. People are not even shooting at you. They're just shooting towards a point and they're hitting you. That's why you want to make sure you have a different angle on them. Get behind them. Get a flank on them, because they are focused on the point, not on you anymore. So if you're not on the point, you get free time. But if you go to the point, they're already looking at you, and you just give them free shots on you. Again, you go straight to the point. Bad idea. I would go left and then kind of play the angle. Seems like it's going to work out though, because you just have superior damage. Eevee chasing you, I think you're kiting it quite well, which is perfectly fine. You're on to a Fernando ulti, it's probably lucky, but that's good. And then I guess you want to retake. Closing thoughts on the quads. Cronus 2 is never worth it. It's too expensive and it's irrelevant for Cassie. Cronus 1 is more than enough. Life Rip is not really good because they go otherwise and it just gets shut down. Even Veteran or Rejuvenate is better. I think the Haven 2 is fine. You were mostly dying to Eevee, but even then, they have more Haven damage in their team. Gun Wrecker, I already mentioned this. Gun Otherwise is much better. The amount of times you were shooting Rukus and you were just being hit by Ceres, you would have been able to kill him if you had Otherwise there. So, Cronus 1, Otherwise instead of Wrecker, and then no Life Rip, but go Rejuvenate instead. I think that would have been perfectly fine. Again, taunting on point, it's kind of risky. You should be zoning, but you already... It's a casual game, so it's not a big a deal. So that's for the review. So I guess the closing thoughts here are... Always get an angle on Cassie. Never go to the point. Never stack with anybody, because you have range. Your team does not have range. Keep your distance. You can roll backwards to get bonus damage. You don't have to roll into them. And never stack on point. Never, ever, ever go on point if you're a damage carry. Unless you absolutely have to buy overtime or to cap it in. You always have to make sure you have a safe angle. And you can just poke them. Oh, that was a lot of talking and my throat hurts. Jeez. I hope that was at least a little bit helpful. I've never done a review before, so there's something it's something new for me as well. I hope you at least got something out of it.